Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Sober Mondays. It's just another manic Monday. Morning, Amber, for 4 more minutes. Morning, Michelle. Michelle says, "How did you beat me, Amber?" I can tell you what. I can tell you how she beat you. Because when I go live, I tell Amber I'm live first before I do anything else. Been doing that for at least 1.5 years. Right? So that's why. Michelle, if you'd like me to send you a special one too, I'm happy to do it. Because I have like 1:17 to get things done. So I've got it pretty down. Yeah. Take 12 was another successful one in the books. We talked about step 2 today. Amber says, "I'm a cheater." Yeah. Well, it's kind of like having the umpires on your side as a football team. Me being the umpire. Right. Oh, hi, Angel. Good to see you. Good to see you. You have an appointment? Okay. Well, you'll probably get through the jokes. I asked ChatGPT today to give me some recovery jokes. They're all right. We're gonna tell them. This is the part my cats hate. But you got cookie in your eyes, though, huh? Yes, you do. You are so spoiled. This cat's from the street. He spent the first year living on the street, so he understands how good he has it. My oldest cat, Sawyer, he knows how good he has it too, because his previous owners, well, I have a lot of choice words, but let's just say they weren't very good parents. The other two have known nothing but good, and they have no idea how good they got it. Hey, Maylin, good to see you. My favorite Canuck. Oh, I was going to do today's daily reflection, but I thought mine was better. So that y'all read the daily reflection. This kind of came up when we were talking, when we were doing take 12. Yeah, the relief of being wrong. It was kind of freeing. But we're not there yet, are we? No, we are not there yet. I don't really have anything to start us off with. I have no valid complaints. One thing I could say is thank you, everybody, for having my back. I do notice. So read it again. Read what again? I haven't done it yet. I've just got started, Mayland. We might get to the daily reflection, but right now, well, it's gonna be hard for me to do the laugh track. I guess I could just memorize. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about. See, for me to tell these jokes, I have to go to another screen. Well, if I'm on another screen, I can't hit the laugh track. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to put the the pointer, the mouse right over that and flip. Okay, are you ready? Do you know what time it is? It is time for Dion's Daily Funnies. It is also noon on the dot. Why did the ghost have to join AA? He had a problem with booze. We told that one before. Hi, Matt. Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm an alcoholic. This is AAA, not AA. Oh, I know. I was just calling to tell you my car was in the ditch. Yeah. I added the rest on, just so you know. What do ATMs and rehab patients have in common? Withdrawals. These are very good. Why did the duck go to rehab? It had an addiction to quack. Yeah, that was a better one. Let's see if I can make both the laugh tracks go at the same time to double the effect, but it did not happen. Right? Rehab is the only place where quitters are winners. Not really funny as much as it is true. All right, a little bit of AA meeting humor. So I told my sponsor I'd been drinking again. He handed me a soda. We'll solve this one sip at a time. That had to have been from the grapevine because it was just stupid. What's an alcoholic's favorite group activity? Taking shots at each other's jokes. All right. All right. So, all right, fun. Yeah, we have to have a little bit of fun. I talk about some harder things here, and if we can laugh at things, while we're working through things, today's topic is the relief of being wrong. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I am joined by Grogu today, or as some people like to call him, Baby Yoda. But no, say his name. Never ending story. Say my name. All right. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Now, you remember when you first came into the program? You remember that gift of desperation, right? It's often that well, this is something that I let my sponsees know, that in the beginning, for the first 2, 3, 4 rest of your life, you are going to be wrong about everything that comes out of your mouth. And it's okay. This is actually a great place to be, because it means that we're willing to learn, that we're being open-minded. It was relieving not to have all the answers anymore. It was nice. Now, staying naive was not necessarily an option either, though. But it was good. It was a relief to me to find out that I was wrong, because my life was not going very well. I am not that great at managing my own life. I need help. I need your help. I need the assistance of sometimes a therapist, a sponsor. My higher powers help for sure. Yeah. That direction seems to be a lot better. But in order for me to be better, I had to be naive, right? Send Maylin, thank you for that. Dare to be naive. I'm still naive about a lot of things in life. I'm learning. There's so much to learn in life that it should keep you striving for as long as you need to. Right. So one of the clearest signs of progress is is the relief of being wrong. Right. And we're not just talking about the 10th step. Not yet. Not yet. Right. Now, as an alcoholic, I tend to have the cart before the horse. You hear me say this a lot. It's just I tend to think of things backwards. Right. Right. Maylin says, try being gullible. Yeah, why not? Ooh, yay. Sorry. I just like it when my people write me back. It's the intake coordinator for the place that I'm going to be sending homeless people to. I'm starting a new series. I don't know what to call it yet, but I'm going to be taking my camera. I'm going to be going out and I'm going to be putting people in detox and getting them treatment right away, immediately, now. Yeah. Now you got to go through detox first because I got to get you, I have to get that blood pressure to the right place. Well, I don't. Okay. And now that we've got a great detox opening up in a few weeks here, yeah. What I'll do is I will transport them to detox. They will give me a call when you are going to be let out, and I will take you straight over to the program. You don't even need to do anything. Yeah. So I will be asking for donations with that to help pay for gas, insurance. I may need to put some food in these people's bellies, Maybe before I go to treatment, I can take them to Taco Bell or something. Get them some real food because you don't get real food in detox. Something with a little bit of salt in it. Maybe a Snickers bar. What I will not do is give them alcohol, drugs, or cigarettes. Nope. Because pretty soon here, I'm not going to have cigarettes of my own. I'm not going to have, I'm not going to, my wife's all but quit, and I'm not far behind her. I've cut way back. I'm very proud of myself. Good job. Woo. All right. Michelle's, why are you taking your camera? That's a really good question. I'm taking my camera because I'm going to need to create videos and put them on social media so that people will donate. That is why. But the people will be blurred out, and I won't be using their names. There'll be no names, but only just for that. But if you can think of another way to do it, and I can still kind of take donations to help out, please let me know because I'm willing to listen to it. Amber says, like Victor the Good Boss. Kinda. Yeah, yeah. But there's got to be humility in it. There's got to be humility. But we will be helping people. But I don't have enough. I'm gonna need gas money. So I'll do the work. You donate. We all help somebody. I tell you now, right now, I will not be getting rich off of it. That's not what's going to happen. And if it does get to a certain point where there's a lot of money, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm going to give it to the treatment center that's putting these people through for free. I'll donate it there. There you go. All right. Malin says, I love it. Good luck with that. It should work out real good. Healthcare starts with individual. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to hear that people, because you guys know my intentions and you know what I'm really after. So I appreciate the support because sometimes it's writing a thin red line, but I will not break HIPAA. No. So Malin says for fun and for free. If I could do it for free, I'd do it. But unfortunately, my free days, I have what I do for free is kind of come to a limit. So, but anyway, all right. I'm way off topic. I apologize about that. I'm kind of excited about it, right? So, well, why is it okay. Okay, that's why it looks all weird because it gave me a wrong outline. I'm talking on the wrong thing here. I was on the right thing. So, what does being wrong mean? What does it mean? It doesn't mean that I'm bad. It doesn't mean that I'm stupid. It doesn't mean that I'm a horrible person. That's not what being wrong means. If we are willing to put it right. If we're willing to do that. He hates this, by the way. That's why I'm doing it. Because if he's going to annoy me by jumping on my lap, look at his face like, I hate him right now. He's flicking that tail. You gonna put your ears back too? He's like, I want you to fill my bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this for what it is. No. All right. Remember having to cover your lies, and then it was one lie to cover another lie, and it was this. It was like because we for some reason I just felt the need that I needed to place myself above other people. And most alcoholics are pretty intelligent, so we use our intelligence to bolster this, to bolster the ego. Um, right? So, oh my God. Sorry. It is Chat GPT is not understanding, which makes me think, right? See, it's going back into what making progress. So I'm just gonna do this myself, and I'm gonna go into a 10th step. And then maybe what we will do is just go ahead and read the daily reflection. All right. So I'm gonna keep this part short. We'll go into the daily reflection. Somebody brought it up. It keeps rearing its head. So what am I doing? I'm listening to God right now. And he's saying, yes, Dion, this is a good topic, but I got something better for you. Be wrong. Be wrong often. It's how we learn. I have never learned from any of my successes, but I have learned from other people's mistakes. All right. And I'm one thing that I'm really glad about having boomer parents was they taught you to learn from their mistakes. That was something they were really good about. Yeah. And I did do that. I'm a people watcher. I've been watching people since I was very small. And I saw patterns, and these patterns do not lie. Right? Are you always going to be wrong? No. Mm-mm. After a while, the right things start coming out of your mouth. Huh. All right. Now, let's go back to being wrong. Let's say you say something wrong in a meeting, but you can't really be wrong in a meeting, right? Kinda, you know, like when somebody says, "Oh, I've got this." Well, somebody's probably gonna come talk to you after the meeting, say, "We never really got this. What we have is a daily reprieve," right? And let's kind of mash this into step 10. And step 10's my favorite step. Step 10 has allowed me to grow beyond what I thought I was capable of. Yeah. And you know how I did it? By being wrong. In fact, I'm here wrong often, but I'm willing to listen, right? I'm willing to listen. But you got to approach me the right way, right? Uh, Amber says, "Shit, my parents said that too." See? All right. Uh, are your parents boomers? I thought they might be Gen Xers, but I don't know. It's hard for me. I mean, I know how old you are, but for me to do the math in my head is yeah, let's just say it's not the best. All right. But if we can learn from other people's mistakes, then we're a little bit ahead of the game. That's what I do with my kids. Hey, you remember when dad used to do that? And they're like, yeah, I'm like, remember how well it did not turn out? And now I get to utilize that because I've settled my past. I it is okay. It is okay to be wrong if you are willing to be right. If you're willing to set it right, then you are not necessarily wrong. Dude, you are just on fire today. This cat's doing everything he shouldn't be. Um, they're younger than you by a couple of years, so I guess whatever you are. I'm Gen X. She says I don't pay attention to those labels, and I agree. I don't quite agree with it either. There are certain personality traits but you can't encompass everybody in one area. That's not cool, right? All right. So today's daily reflection is accepting our present circumstances. And it takes us to As Bill Sees It, page 44. There's one part they left out. So I'm going to do the first paragraph in this, and then we'll do the daily reflections. Daily reflections. So it is called daily acceptance. All right. And if that fits, it fits into the topic because you have to accept the fact that you're wrong. And I do that daily, right? So I'm on the 10th step. So I take care of problems as they come along, or I take care of opportunities as they come along now. Instead of, you know, uh, you can work on a problem, but do it before it becomes a resentment. And then you don't have to 4-step it. You can 10-step it. Now, I will have to admit that there are some problems that I let fester, and I had to do a little bit lengthier of a 10th step than I would normally need to do. I kind of need to go back to that. Okay, where was I being selfish? Where was I being dishonest? Where was it? Okay. And I need to go back to those and recognize where I was wrong in those. So, but let's get to this. Too much of my life has been spent in dwelling upon the faults of others. Yeah, I spent a good portion of my life, but you can reverse that. You can reverse it. Okay. Um, you can see the good in other people, just like you can see the bad. Might take a little bit of effort because what is spending or spent in dwelling upon the faults of others? Well, that's a bad habit. It's a bad habit, and it can be changed. This is a most subtle and perverse form of self-satisfaction. Nothing like that self-satisfaction, right? Of being right. Well, here we are again. The right to be wrong. Yeah, that's where I learned, right? Which permits us to remain comfortably unaware of our own defects. See, when I'm pointing outward, I ain't looking inward. So, too often we are heard to say, if it wasn't for him or her, how happy I'd be. Basing our happiness dependent upon other people's stuff, problems, right? And this is emotional sobriety, not utilizing other people for your own happiness, for your own gain. Right? So comfortably aware of our own defects. Right? And that comes in a lot of different ways. A lot of different ways. Right? But it's the extremes that we go to with it that really make the difference. Right. So now we're going to the daily reflection because it finishes the rest of As Bill Sees It and then has its little saying by an AA member here, right? Our very first problem is to accept our present circumstances as they are. How do you feel about life right now? Can you accept life for what it is right now? Because it's the only place you can do it. I too can get caught up in um, what I would call worldly clamors. A lot of these worldly clamors really have nothing to do with me. Now, and when it comes to these worldly clamors, I have my opinions also. But what they are is opinions. And I tell you now, most of my friends don't care what my opinion is on it. We don't really talk about it, actually. There's I don't really have too many worldly clamors that I'm talking about with friends. No, most of those conversations are, how are you doing? You having a good day? Are what are you doing today? Yeah. That's what most of my conversations are. Um, if it is a gripe, then we are working towards the solution to what that is. How do we need to behave? How do we need to act in this situation? Right. And Okay, I'm gonna redo the first line here. Our very first problem is to accept our personal circumstances as they are, ourselves as we are, and the people about us as they are. Sounds like a tall order, but with time, you can do this. Do you like do you like yourself? All right. And the people about us as they are. I can absolutely accept people that they are who they are. I will still strive for change. I still work with the truth. I need to. Because for Dion, at least, without the truth, there's nothing to base anything off of. Right? Again and again, we shall need to return that unflattering point of departure. This is an exercise in acceptance that we can profitably practice every day in our lives. And again, we're doing it for our own peace of mind. I don't need to be right about everything. I don't need to be. I don't need to enforce my opinion upon things. Usually, my opinion has to do with name calling. Mm, right? With anger. When it turns to name calling, though, nah, I'm out. I'm out because I can jump on that so quick, and my mind can come up with some of the most devious things to say, and I just no, thank you. I don't want to be that person. I would rather I would rather provide hope. I would rather find somewhere where I belong and provide hope. It's not always easy to do. So, luckily for me, God puts enough in my life that my cup is usually overflowing. So I have a lot of dividends that I can give away. And most of the dividends that I have to give away are hope and love because that's what's been provided to me. God loves me unconditionally. Maybe I need to love myself unconditionally. And how am I going to love others unconditionally if I can't provide it for myself first? And that's what we're really talking about. Self-worth, self-esteem. Not they esteem, not we esteem, not us esteem, self-esteem. And the more you walk through holding God's hand, your higher power's hands, and maybe the hands of people in the fellowship, you get to the other side unscathed, and you will gain more courage to walk through more things. But never ever do it without direction. I can't. I should make that into an I statement. That one needs to be I. Right? I need to make sure Dion does. Right? Because I have a lot of ideas. Most are no good. Right? So practice every day in our lives. And really what we're doing is we're just practicing. We are creating new neural pathways with the help of several different things. And you're worth any effort. You're worth it. Provided we strenuously avoid turning to these realistic surveys of the fact of life into unrealistic alibis. Oh, see, I don't need an alibi anymore. I don't need an alibi. Can I get a witness? I don't need that one either. Uh-uh. Because I'm willing to tell the truth now. All right. Angel says the here and now is best. Absolutely. It's the only place it could be the best, right? Amber Rose says, Amber Steam, choo choo. Growing up, I was around a lot of trains. We used to go to the train park, and because in Utah, it's where the two trains met. And it was, yeah. And my dad would drop us off there for hours. Lord knows what he was doing. Welcome to the 70s. Hey, here's a random park. I'll be back in 2 hours. You get in trouble for doing that now. Okay? And I would have been 7, 8 years old. All right. So, oh, the good old days. Ah, stretching is good, stretching is fun. Ah, little bit of cracking in there too. Little cracking, right? So, turning life into unrealistic alibis for apathy and defeatism. Ooh, apathy. Let's look up the meaning of apathy. Let's do that real quick. Definition of apathy: lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. Well, actually, I didn't have enthusiasm this morning getting started. I had to reach out to a friend and say, I just have no enthusiasm. And it helped me find some enthusiasm. I just needed to say something to somebody else about it. And then it was just fine. And what is that? Well, that's me setting myself up to succeed for the day. To take care of a problem before it exists. This is prevention. We don't talk about prevention much in the rooms anymore. Prevention is education, learning from other people's mistakes so you don't repeat them. That's prevention. And we do it a lot in AA. Prevention isn't just going to schools and teaching kids about drugs and alcohol, although that is a big part of it, right? And we do prevention all the time. You want to know the biggest prevention you do? You didn't drink today. That is the best prevention: abstinence. But understanding that, oh, if I make this move, it's going to turn into a problem. We don't want to go that way, do we? Because you saw what Bill and Sue did last week. This is the same situation. They went this route and it didn't work for them. So I'm going to try this route instead. It's usually the harder route, just to help you decide. It's usually a harder route. All right. Amber says Planned Parenthood offers a prevention plan. Yes, they do. A different kind of prevention, but it very much fits here. Yeah. What is prevention? It's knowledge, it's education, it's making the right decisions. Right. But I don't seem to be able to do the right decisions if I've got hooch in my body. If I'm drinking, I don't that doesn't seem to work for me. Even in the beginning of sobriety, right? So I had to learn. Nothing wrong with that, right? So I'm going to repeat this because it's one long sentence. Provided we strenuously avoid turning these realistic surveys of facts of life into unrealistic alibis for apathy or defeatism, they could be the sure foundation upon which increased emotional health and therefore spiritual progress can be built. That would be akin to the part in the big book where it says, and then we will 12th step others into emotional sobriety. And actually, I think we should change that. It's, for me, emotional recovery. That's closer than the sobriety for me. All right. If you are not familiar with it, go to Google, put in the next frontier, emotional sobriety. It'll give you the PDF. But what it talks about is utilizing the St. Francis prayer to stop using other people to make you feel a certain way. Well, if they just do that, I'd be happy. No, you wouldn't. You'd just find another thing to be unhappy about because I'm an alcoholic. Right? All right. And that is from As Bill Sees It, page 44. All right. ACA. Yeah. Let's give a plug to ACA. Thank you, Angel. ACA, Adult Children of Alcoholics. And there's Al Anon, which is a big help. ACA deals more with the trauma side. Just a forewarning, but it works. It does. If you're going to do ACA, you are going to be digging into some hard truths. So I would highly recommend that you also have a sponsor, and a therapist. Because ACA doesn't solve the trauma, it gives you the information to solve it. But it's a great program. So if you're working in tandem with that, those are going to be your best bets. And that's been my experience on living life and being a drug and alcohol counselor for years. All right. When I am having a difficult time accepting people, places, or events, I turn to this passage and it relieves me of many of the underlying fear regarding others or situation life presents me. The thought allows me to be human and not perfect and to regain my peace of mind. Yeah, because when I have peace of mind, that is when I am at my best to be of maximum service to God and the world around me. It gives me the best chance of practicing all these principles in all my affairs. Okay. Now I go to my home group, and what they do is they fill my cup back up again. And then I go out into the world and I help other people's, and it gets drained a little bit. So I go back. But the fellowship fills up my cup so that I can go out there and say, hey, stranger that I've never even met in my life, I have some love for you. And I'd like to help you if I can. If you're willing to let me, I'd like to sit down and talk with you. You got some time? All right. So, real quick before I end, how do I make the approach to these people that I'm going to try and help? I need some idea. I'm thinking about literally wearing a sign that says, I have free treatment. Do you want help today? Maybe I can put it. So help me come up with ideas on how to approach, because we want the best way, don't we? How to do these things. Because it is also not my job to bring a camera along and disturb your fucking day either. That's not my job, right? Forcing things upon other people. Can't do that either. Gonna have to find some balance in this. But there is an answer. So please, there we go. Free hugs. Great idea. Great idea. Yeah. See, now we're getting somewhere. I could set up a table, has a sign right there. Free hugs. Free. Do you need to talk? And instead of just helping, there we go. All right. Now, if it said free crack, then I'd have a crowd. I had to throw a joke in there somewhere. I did. So, yeah, help me. If you can help me with these things, that would be great. I have a lot of great ideas, but I don't have all of them. All right. And maybe sometimes we could go as a group. Yeah. Why not? Why not? Maybe 2, 3 of us. Right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. And so does Grogu. Grogu appreciates you. Free hugs for crack. Yeah. But that means I get the crack. All right. Thanks for having fun with me today. A lot of what we talk about, it's kind of tongue in cheek. We're here having fun, and it's okay. It is okay to laugh at yourself. I do it all the time. It is better than calling myself names, because when I laugh at it, you know what that puts me towards? The solution. The solution. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I love you. You know I do. Lots and lots and lots. I do. I and I'll tell you why, because I went and worked on my emotional sobriety because I didn't understand love. I misconstrued it. Now I get to love appropriate to every relationship. And I'm a very lucky man because my wife is extremely understanding and she doesn't get jealous. She should never have any reason to. See, I don't give her a reason to be jealous either, right? So I'm very lucky. My wife is who taught me true love. I remember we got into a fight once and we were just like, why are we even fighting? And this is what she said. Why do you want to be angry with the person you love the most? Why would I want to do that? And that has stayed. She told me that when I was still drinking, and that one stuck with me. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't work, does it? So the Beatles were right. All you need is love, the love of God. All right. Amber says this, and then we're going to wrap up. You're giving the hug and the crack. Oh, yeah, that's true, huh? So I guess the crack isn't free because it costs a hug. Free hug with crack. I don't know. I think we might be off a little bit, but yeah, it's funny. All right. This is the philosophy we talk about now. All right, we're at 40 minutes. It's just there's 5 people here. I don't usually have 5 people, and I'm feeling all of your energy, and it's kind of psyching me up a little bit. All right, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go work on Jeff Allen. He is going to be on the show in 9 days. I've got to put some effort into that and get some things together, pertinent questions. I'm really looking forward to it. I might ask this. I might ask him to go live. Okay. And if he does go live, this will be a huge chance where I need all of you to show up. All right. 3 people left. They're like, okay, Dion, you ain't stealing my energy. You vampire. You vampire of emotional vampire. I love you. Thanks for being here. Peace out.